Hey everybody, welcome back to part 4 and the final part of the Autozam turbo swap. So today we're going to swap the fuel injectors. They look impossible, they're probably going to be impossible, but I'm going to make it work. Here we are back in the engine bay, and I already showed you where the fuel injectors were in part 3. They are, you can kind of see in there, this is a fuel injector. So to get to those, I'm going to draw a diagram and show you guys where they are and what's holding them in and how to get them out. Alright, let me draw this out. So basically you have your intake manifold, which is this big thing like this that kind of curves down. You have your 3 intake holes like this. And yeah, it curves up again, like these, like that. Yeah, pretty spot on. In the middle, you have your fuel rail, and connected to the fuel rail are the fuel injectors, which are like just big things that connect like this and shoot fuel in. The fuel comes in this way. So actually there's a thing right here that fuel goes into, and this hose has a clip that you have to take off. You have to take only one hose off, and then yeah, these fuel injectors that you have to take off. So to get the fuel injectors out, you have to take off the fuel rail, and to do that there are 2 bolts, one here, one here, and to get those out, I have no idea. It's going to be a mess. There's like wires and stuff all over, and like there's the top of the cars right here, and so you have to like reach over and under and pull these out, and then pull this up, and then these things have to pop out, and then first there's a clip on each end of the fuel injector that like are wired. You have to get those off. Meanwhile my hand is like this big, so fitting in it's dumb. Alright, well, we'll see how we go. So if you're looking at the intake manifold, let's go over to this little thing. I'm not sure what it is. You guys can tell me. I can do some research and tell you guys later. I'll just write it at the bottom of the screen here. But this is on the end of the fuel rail. So if you just pull this hose off, then this will probably spill some fuel, but it'll be okay. Then this will be kind of loose and ready to get out. Just shot out some fuel, so it was under pressure. I don't know if it still is. Let's see how much leaks out. Alright, just a little bit of fuel, not very much, but it's pretty hard to get off. I'll just leave this here. Actually, I'll just put this up over here so nothing more leaks out. And it's kind of out of the way. So now this thing is all loose and ready to go. And then there's 2 bolts somewhere in the middle here that I have to take off, and then the whole fuel rail will come out. So over on the right side there is this big clump of wires here that I have to kind of get out of the way. And so I'm going to, there's a little tab inside here, you can't really see on the video, but you just squeeze that and push it out. And then you can pull this out a little bit just to see what you're working with. But not very much at all, but gets it out of the way. And once this is out of the way, you can see the fuel rail, and here's one of the bolts that you have to get out right there, and there is one of the fuel injectors right here. So just have to find a way to get those out. Actually, it looks pretty easy from this side. So here is one of the clips that I have to take off of the fuel injector, so I'll do that. Looks like all of them are wired up to, some of them are grounded here, I guess. 2, probably 1 on the other side. And the rest of the wires go into this big wiring harness loom thing that go off into here, and probably I don't know, probably hook up to the ECU somehow. And the cool thing is that you can just spin the fuel injector a little bit, and there's a clip, and so you just push this in a little bit. I'll probably have to use pliers to get it out, but then yeah, you just pull it out. And once it's out, I'm going to bring in the new fuel injector, one of them, and see if it fits or if I have to do some wiring. Alright, and it's off. So there's the blue part down there. That's the fuel injector part. Here's the clip. Looks like that. And now, let's see. Here's the new fuel injector. Looks very similar. I really hope this fits because I don't want to have to put together the rest of this stuff. So let's just compare. Let's compare these new clip with the old one. They look exactly the same. Whew. Makes the job easy when the kit actually works and everything fits together. As my buddy with the cappuccino says, it is really straightforward on other cars, but not on the Autozam. So that's unplugged. Whatever, fine. Okay, now I need to get to the middle one. So if you put the snake in there, you should be able to see. That's enough. You should be able to see a clip. Yeah. And that is the clip I need to remove. And it's right in the middle of the intake manifold. I can't even get my hands to it, so I'll have to figure out something to do. Get these guys, stick them in here. Well, that's one way to get the clip off, I guess. That sucks. First, I'm going to try and fit this down into here. I'm guessing it's a 10mm because they look really small. They feel really small, but we'll find out. And then try and fit that on one of those bolts on the fuel rail. And that bolt I was talking about is right there. I removed these two lines, that one and this one. You can just move them out of the way just so I have a little bit more room, so we'll see if it works. This is what I have to use for the bolt on this side. It's about, I don't know, 30 centimeters or about 1.5 inches. Yeah, any longer I'll show you in there, it just doesn't fit. Alright, so I have the socket in there. I found out that it has to be about 1.5 inches long. If it's too long, then you can't get your ratchet in there and like it'll hit the edge of the engine. If it's too short, then your ratchet will hit the fuel injector. So it's pretty crazy. Yeah, awesome. Okay, just one more. Alright, this is the craziest wrench setup I've ever used. Just moving a little tiny bit up here. It's connected all the way down under there. You can't really see, but I'll pull it out and show you guys what it looks like because it's dumb. Alright. So, I have a couple different, I have a 10mm and then an extension, and then something that goes from 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch to a bendy bit to another like a 1/2 inch back into a 1/4 inch, and then a ratchet with an extension. That crazy thing is what it took to get that bolt out. And when you have it kind of finger loose, you can just put one finger between one of these intake manifold things and just make this weird motion. So interested. Anyways, now that both of these bolts are out, I'm very concerned about getting them back in. It's going to be a pain. Possibly the most frustrating thing about working on this car is when you drop a bolt and you hear tink 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 and you don't hear it hit the ground, you have no idea where it went. So I've lost 2 bolts so far. They're somewhere in the engine. They'll probably fall out when I'm driving. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Okay, now the fuel rail is loose. But how do you get it out? I probably just lift up. Yeah. And then the fuel injectors will kind of pop out. And I should be able to just slide everything that way. I undid this. This just goes right here. Just so I have a little bit more room. Because it goes, this one actually goes over the pressure regulator, so it should be good. Should be able to just pull it out like that. It doesn't go very far, so just gotta get all these wires out of the way. So that is the stock one, and the new one is a lot beefier, I guess. Actually, it doesn't look beefier, but this one only has one hole on the bottom and the other one has 4, so it probably just sprays a lot more, and hopefully it just clips right up. That would make it a lot easier. Alright, what's up? Checking out my handiwork? Yeah, looks good. Okay, wow, got number 2 out, just the sides. So now I have to get the middle one out. Yeah, huge pain. You can actually fit your hand all the way inside, and from both sides you can grab the middle fuel injector. Number 3. Oh yeah. Put that there. And I'm not sure if I actually need to take the fuel rail all the way out. I actually feel like there's something blocking it in the middle, so we'll see. Yeah, there's another hose somewhere that connects to the top of the fuel rail that doesn't really need to come out, so I'll just leave the fuel rail in there and then just try and plug in the new injectors, set it all up, and then bolt it back up, and yeah, it should be fine. So I'll go get the new ones and replace them. Bam! Let's see how the new ones stack up to the old ones. Oh, they're way tinier. Same length. Plugs and everything. Actually lighter weight too, way lighter. Cool. Alright, swap them in. So one important thing is on the end of this, when it goes in, there's a seal, a rubber seal that you want to keep. I almost lost this one, it just fell off. When you take it out, they kind of pop out sometimes. So you want to dip this and this probably in some fuel, just so it makes a good seal when you put it back in. So this is going to sound ridiculous. I rode my electric motorcycle to get some gas, just to lubricate the little fuel injectors. Yeah, it's stupid. Just need a little bit. Just a little bit. And it already smells great. Sorry, dinos. Just dip the top in there so that it's covered in fuel, and then you can get a good seal. Just put that on, and then I'll stick this in the middle first because that was the hardest one to get out. Alright, it is on and it is clipped in. Well, that's the broken one, but it should work. It's kind of forced on, so yeah, it should be fine. And I'm just going to fill the rest of the holes. Yeah, so you get it there, and then there, and then you can just move the fuel rail a little bit to push it in. And then move this around and somehow clip it like this. Like that. And then just clip that on. Yeah, there you go. It's in. Yeah, good. And then just bolt it up and you'll be ready to go. Alright, back to this craziness. Yep, just 2 bolts though, and then we'll be done. You really need 2 hands to get that in. Really just 2 fingers, because it is really hard to get to, but I'm glad it's in. And then just tighten it up again, if you can. Okay, just 1 more. And all I have to do is try and get it in there, and then tighten it up, and then I'll put all these hoses and stuff back on, and then change the oil and start it up. So it's pretty safe to say that the most difficult part of doing all this stuff is just how crammed into the engine bay everything is. It's just impossible to get your hands around stuff. You have to cheat and break things and take off a bunch of hoses just to get to 1 bolt. Yeah, and I kind of wish I had a cappuccino right now. So I'm just moving all the hoses back to where they were before. This one goes over here. now that all the hoses and stuff are back together and everything's the way it was, I can add more oil to it and start it up. To stay true to the theme of the Autozam, there is the oil filler cap. How do you even get it off? I don't know. Stupid non-cappuccino car. Yep. That'll do. Let's do this before it starts raining too much. I am done. It's starting to rain, so yeah. Remember how the turbo and the downpipe didn't really line up, and I said, I'll fix that later. Well, I had to remove the whole exhaust. Yeah, so it's delaying everything a little bit. Yep. Basically, the problem was, in order to line up this with the turbo, it had to move over a little bit, but it also has to rotate like this a little bit. And the problem is, it's got this mounting point to the engine that needs to come off because it keeps hitting the engine when I rotate it. So I'm just going to cut this a little bit and then put this back in and just run straight out of the cat until I get to an exhaust shop. So it's going to be loud, but it'll run. Yep. That should do it. Yeah, that's what I wanted. I just needed to rotate a little bit. So I know this is really heavy and it's all being supported by the turbo and the header, but eventually I want to get a custom downpipe made that kind of, instead of going like this sharp angle straight down, it'll go out like this and then down in that space. There was a company called Desert Eagle in Japan who made a custom one that went out like that, and it just flowed better, I guess, and it's going to be lighter weight. So that's later. I mean, this is good enough just to get me to an exhaust shop, and then I can have the rest of the exhaust made, and maybe that, yeah. Alright, it is bolted up. Now you just plug these back in, and after this, all that will need to be done is change the ECU, which is in here. There's a hatch right here, and then a hatch down here behind the driver's seat, and the ECU is behind here. So I'll change that next, and then we can actually start the car. I'm not even kidding. We're gonna start it. And to get this off, it's just a whole bunch of 10s. So just get your ratchet and pull it off. There are only 4 bolts, so I'll take that off, and there's the ECU. So this is a stock one. Basically, you just unplug these. There's 2 bolts. That comes out, and then you just put it back and plug it in. It should work. Alright, moment of truth. I haven't put it in the seat yet. I left the cover off because I just want to make sure that there's no leaks, no fuel or oil or coolant or anything leaking. I mean, I changed the spark plugs and fuel injectors, and some of the hoses are new, so hopefully nothing goes wrong, but I have this just in case. And yeah, time to start the car. It's been like a month. I know on YouTube it seems like I just started this project last week, but it's been over a month since I've driven the car, so hopefully it starts. Let's see. Alright, here we go. So you turn it on, you wait about 10 seconds while the fuel pump turns on and runs some fuel through the fuel injectors, and you're going to listen to hear if there are any leaks, and if you smell fuel, turn it off and check what's wrong. I say this because for the last 3 hours I've been trying to figure out why my fuel injectors were like spewing out fuel. So it turns out that there was a pinch in the O-ring, right in the middle one. So I had to take out the sides, I had to unbolt the fuel rail, everything. It was ridiculous. So I wouldn't wish changing fuel injectors on an Autozam AZ1 on my worst enemy. But now, when I turn it over, it's not going to spew fuel. I've already checked, so we're going to start it up and see what it sounds like. See if it even runs right. I don't know. there's a lot of factors. I mean, the ECU is new, so I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. All right. Nothing spewing. Now. Yeah. Thanks, automation.
Yeah. Hey, all we did was turn the key for ages.
Alright, it's finally done. I want to thank everybody who helped me, all the commenters on YouTube that gave me a lot of good advice, people on Instagram, my buddies, my autocross friends from Camshaft Software. They're awesome. They came and got the car started today, so I'm very excited. Now all I need is just to get an exhaust made and it'll be ready to go. And autocross is in a couple weeks, so my next video, there's going to be a part 5. It's going to be driving, my feelings, my thoughts, my emotions on the new turbo and all this stuff, and then autocross too. So yeah, thanks everybody for watching and following me on this crazy journey, swapping a turbo on an Autozam AZ1. But yeah, now I'm gonna go for a drive, so peace.